Yo, so what's going on, you little fart vacuums? Today, I want to talk about the 3 games that I'm most excited for the remainder of 2016. We're talking Q4, Quarter 4, basically that last part of the year where all your big shooters come out, which is my particular category of interest. And I do have 3 shooters on my top list. I want to get you guys involved. Leave your comment section down below. Maybe there's some underground sleepers that I'm not aware of, but leave your top 3 in order down below. And of course, leave a thumbs up to help the video out. It means a lot. So today we're going to go back asswards. Number 3 on the list is actually an expansion, not technically a sequel in a traditional sense, because I believe Destiny 2 is in the works, but Destiny Rise of Iron. Now this game, lots of juicy details have come out, lots of teasers and information, leaks, and even some confirmed things from all kinds of different sources. We have trailers and footage out there, so we're getting a pretty interesting look at this new enhancement. This game has definitely come a long way since the launch. We're moving into year 3, exciting time for a lot of those Guardians out there. And what's so interesting is because when they come out with these big expansions, you know there's going to be interesting new aspects. We got raids, we got light increases, all the traditionals you would expect, new types of armor, new enemies, we have new guns coming, as well as new, I guess, evolved types of guns, because I think there's all new quest lines and stuff for even classics like your Thorn, the Gjallarhorns coming back. So many things now are coming together to keep people occupied in PvE elements and quest lines and stuff like this. And if the last expansion with the Taken King was any sort of insight into how this is going to work, I definitely expect a major growth in interest in terms of story, which is something they have greatly tried to separate themselves from. The original launch was an embarrassment. But they're going down that line, they're getting better, they're balancing things. The game's in a very good place right now. It's the best that it's ever been, and I'm curious to see with the incorporation of all the other things that they can make this thing really skyrocket to the top. And this one's got me really, really jolly for the future. Number 2 on my list, if you've not looked into it yet, is Battlefield 1. This one is actually going back in time to World War I. We're talking flamethrowers, trench warfare, biplanes, straight planes, gay planes, all the planes. It's going to be ridiculous. And it's interesting because not a lot of games, especially in today's generation, the kids that are 13 or 14, have never really played with a World War I game before. It's not something that you can generally do because everything else is futuristic. So you can create your own fantasy guns and weapons and types and movements and ability. Back then we had horses and trains. And that's about the extent of our movement capabilities. So it's pretty interesting. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I played the closed alpha. I was personally a big fan of the way the game has changed. It was moving in a great direction. I like the melee system's been changed. This is definitely high on my list of what I am looking for. Definitely a pre-order in my part. And one of the most impressive titles that I have played in the last year or so. And the reason for this is because it's more of a boots on the ground kind of game. It's about accuracy, it's about warfare, it's about guns and skill in fighting. So many games now are about the futuristic, the movement, the mobility, the abilities, all of that futuristic flashiness has kind of played the system. There are no games like Battlefield anymore where it's like, hey, the guy that's the most accurate, that does the best pathing, is the most consistent with his shots, that's the guy that wins the gunfight. There are no little tricky plays to be had, crazy abilities to get you out of dangerous situations. It's just traditional shooter. And as weird as it is, that is a rarity now, and that's why Battlefield 1 is a must-buy for me this year, because I honestly miss and crave those types of games. Moving on to number 1, and this one's going to be a surprise to you guys, but this is Titanfall 2. This is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. It's actually the one that I've already pre-ordered at all of these, and I bought the $200 edition just because I was a big fan of the first one. A lot of people considered it a flop. I honestly just thought it was overhyped. It was the first game. There's still lots of room for it to grow. Lots of interesting changes are coming for those that are curious. It's now available on all platforms, so we're talking PC, Xbox One, and PS4 is officially going to get their chance to get into a Titan. There are new Titans, new weapons coming, which is great because that was one of the biggest issues that I had with the original. It's just there wasn't a lot of weapon variety or customization to be had. They have definitely amped that up. New movement mobility and changes are just ridiculous. We got a grappling hook, and we're not talking traditional pleb Batman action where you shoot it at the top of a ceiling and you just scale vertically. We're not talking Overwatch Widowmaker grappling hook. We're talking web-slinging Spider-Man tactics, so you can just root into a Titan and just slingshot yourself under his legs or to the side of a building and whip around the outside. So those mechanics are going to be really interesting. So somebody that can learn to be a veteran slinger is going to be able to do some really cool things with the grappling hook. That aside, lots of changes to the character customization as well, abilities and stuff. But one of the big things that is huge for me for this game is on October 28th, when this thing does launch, you pay for the game. After that, all the new game modes, guns, and any DLC coming out for Titanfall 2 is free of charge. There's no season pass, there's no paid-for DLC. Everything after that is free, which is big because not a lot of games do that anymore. They try to get you out of an extra 50 to 100 bucks in DLC or premium packages, and that's an exciting feature. It's pretty sad that it's gotten to the point that you have to be excited about them not charging more, right? That's like a mandatory thing that we're used to, and that's a pretty disappointing fact. But that aside, it's also got a single player coming in. This is going to be really cool. They're supposed to be exploring the relationship between Pilot and Titan, so that may be an interesting layer to the game too, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. It'd be pretty cool. But that aside, that's how I feel. I've personally kind of drifted away from Call of Duty. I'm not interested in the franchise. I don't know. They've released the contract. Left me. No longer a slave to the game. You can't break free, guys. You could do it. You need an intervention. And not the one from MW2. I know where you were going. But it feels really good, actually. I'm not excited for Call of Duty for the first time. I'll still probably pick it up, but I'm not really excited for it, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of other great titles. I think Skyrim Remastered's coming out. Gears 4 maybe this year as well. The new Pokemon. So there's some cool things coming out. So again, leave your comments down below. What are you most excited for? I'm definitely stoked for Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2. And I'm curious to see exactly what we get from Destiny as well. So thanks again for this. I appreciate your support, guys. I'll see you with another video tomorrow. Subscribe if you've not done so far. Take care, guys.